So who wants to give me a quick rundown of what happened last week?
Oh, yeah, give yourself an XP, Dale, for summing up there. Yeah, XP for someone who can sum up to Mike what happened last episode. And Brian. So yeah, Mike and Brian.
I actually watched the video.
I saw you were live commenting. Wait, what's happening here? Oh,
I was there, and I'm not certain what happened, but I'll give you what Bob thinks.
That's what happened to me last time I watched the video, and Barney had to explain like 4 or 5 things to me that I read the wrong way. So I'm just like, yeah, you just tell me what happened.
Here's how Bob will tell you in game is like. So what happened was we figured out that Phil is a mummy, except he forgets that he's a mummy.
I'm a mummy?
And
Holy
not
shit.
Joe.
Holy shit. That explains so much.
I am that mixed up. No. Who's the crazy guy?
I think Phil has a battle scar.
Actual Joe.
Oh, Joe. We found out Joe is a mummy, except he forgets that he's a mummy. And the faceless man is there to help him. And from what I understand, we are going to direct the maelstrom to the Harrowgate because we only have 2 spider women left. Because that's the only way we can let it blast through and sew it back up.
Yeah. Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Wait, can you repeat the last part? I didn't quite follow the last part.
Well, we figured since there's only two of the weavers left, they're not going to be able to sew the gauntlet back together. So we are going to use the Harrowgate to channel the storm into a smaller region, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now,
yeah.
I'm still unclear on the trigger mechanism of this. There was a lot of talk about if the faceless man finally gets to him or what. But all I know is the end game can happen at the Harrowgate.
Well, but also we figured out that the Thurge is actually, or I'm sorry, the Thurge, the Ba is actually the faceless man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Joe's Ba.
Yeah,
that's Joe's Ba. It's not Phil's Ba.
Yeah.
It's not Joe's Ba.
It is.
It's not Phil's Ba.
It's Joe's Ba.
And the maelstrom is, and we know that the maelstrom is going to zero in on a mummy body or a Bane mummy or something.
We know it's going to zero in on the mummy. We know that, or at least according to Teddy, or no, not what the hell is Adam's character's name?
Felix. But now he changed it too.
Yeah, the new name.
Yeah.
Anyways, the now dead Felix believes that Crazy Joe is not a faceless Joe. Is not a he is not a Bane mummy. He's just a regular mummy. But Coastal Pete, what the hell's that guy's name? Freeport.
Oh, Coastal
Pete.
Seamus Shadrach Seaport. The Bane mummy.
He's
Ahar.
This is so operatic. They're like this. He's
the Bane mummy that's actually sending the maelstrom after Faceless Joe.
Faceless Joe. Actual
Joe. Actual Joe has the faceless Ba, right?
Correct.
Exactly.
So to put it in gaming terms for all of you, that Actual Joe has been reincarnated so many times he's forgotten. In game terms, if you played a mummy, if you get reincarnated, you have to roll your memory. And there's memory, joy, and I can't remember offhand the other one that you have to roll. But it's when you get, he's actually in players' terms, he's failed his role so many times as he's been reincarnated. He's forgotten. He might have forgotten that he was a mummy 2 lifetimes ago, even. And he's forgotten so many times his Ba has actually lost its face as well. And its Ba is actually kind of crazy as well. So
hey, Barney.
Yeah.
the moon right now is the crescent moon.
That's Thurge then.
That's Thurge. So then I get to replenish Gnosis, correct?
You do, and then that means we've had a new moon already, so you can replenish yours as well, Mike.
And is it just Gnosis, or do we replenish anything else?
Gnosis and willpower, I believe.
Okay.
It's kind of like Oprah. You get everything. But here, I have a question.
Yeah.
All right, now
Bill, I told you.
it might have been good I wasn't there because I'd hate to bring up the logical. Why don't we just get actual Joe out of Harrowgate?
So we talked about that. We tried to get him to the.
Oh, good. Okay.
So yeah, we tried to get him to the train, and he basically has a fear of Bob, and doesn't want to go anywhere near the train. So, and then the other thing is that if we just send him down the train tracks, the maelstrom is close enough now that it will still do damage to us, and at that point we're really just like redirecting our damage on somebody else, because somebody's going to get hit with the shit.
Do we have any enemies right now?
There's this guy Phil, and he runs a pretty bar.
I hear that bar's about to be closed by the health department, though, so we don't need to worry about that one.
Roaches are the least of your worry.
Right. Dead bodies in the basement.
But yeah, so the idea was we were just going to try to send him down the Harrowgate.
Okay.
Oh, hey, real quick, Barney.
Yeah.
How much does it cost to buy rank 3 gifts?
Current rating times 3 for yours, and current rating times 5 for any other breed, auspice, or tribe.
I got like a ton of experience, so currently that would be 9 then, right?
Yeah, as you get one gift when you turn to rank that you don't have to get a boon from a spirit. You can just learn it. But
So could I have mine as a boon from that spirit?
no,
Nope.
because you picked one from a different breed, auspice, and tribe. So that's why I'm making
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
Way to go.
All right. So Barney, I would like to buy or get my automatic one as there's 2 that I want, but the 7-mile leap.
What?
Stargazer gift.
That sounds awesome. What does it do?
It allows you to triple the distance you can jump.
That's awesome.
And then I guess I'd like to buy Wind's Returning Favor. This gift allows a Stargazer to take an opponent's weapon upon their attack.
Who teaches? Which one are you gonna get? So which spirit teaches you that?
Yeah, this is the one I wanted to buy with experience.
Well, you have to spend experience for the other one too. You just don't have to have a spirit teach it to you.
Oh, okay. Well, I have enough experience for both.
Yeah.
The Wind's Returning Favor is taught by Wind Spirit.
A one spirit. Okay.
Gotta go commando for the next month. Feel the balls dangling in the wind.
More importantly, it's so that the wind can feel your balls.
That too.
All right. So the wind spirit teaches you.
So Barney, at the conclusion of tonight, if I survive, I'm going to buy Silver Claws.
Okay.
That's
All right.
Aaron.
That's an Aaron gift. All right. So basically, before the Thurges show up, Nana Boshar tells you that she's been doing a bit more research. This is a couple days after. You guys have about a month, according to the Anasazi, and according to the spirits in the deep in the Shadowlands, that you've kind of befriended some of the ghosts that you've specifically your. Specifically, as you're there, let's set up the scene. You guys are probably congregated in Phil's bar. That seems to be like the cheers of the story.
Hey.
Everyone walks, or when Bob walks in, everybody cheers. Oh,
Oh. You see.
Yeah, I got some message.
As you guys are talking kind of like in the back room a bit, and you see the bar kind of hush down, and you see a Sue walk in with somebody else. Oh, that's Aaron. What is he gonna say?
Alexa, how's Vermont?
Alexa, call Barney.
It keeps busted on him. He won't come. He won't be.
Buster.
Yeah.
Hey, Barney, real quick. If I remember correctly, Gnosis. No, wait. Is it willpower? Willpower and rage are just current rating.
Correct. And Gnosis is current rating times 2.
So wait. Can I? So if I have, since I have 16 experience, can I get my additional Gnosis?
What's your Gnosis at now?
8.
No.
Tried. Can I spend it on willpower and rage then?
You have to write a story for every dot that you want for every page. Okay.
For Gnosis?
No. Wait, and what's your rage?
My rage is only 5 right now.
No, they've done nothing that's rage worthy.
Give him till the end of the night.
I'm raging against the machine.
And you guys notice that as the bar quiets down, Phil, Woo, and I'm trying to think, did Bob? Maybe Bob not. You guys recognize him as coming inside the bar. You notice that it is Sacred Ghost.
Oh, great.
I don't think I've met Sacred Ghost.
This an Indian? Oh yeah, I think he was in one adventure.
God damn it!
I think I was also standing at the back of the pack and did not speak.
I would make my way over and greet him.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll let Enoch handle that one.
Yeah, and you see a woman. And you see a younger man. Roll your. I'm trying to think. Phil. Everybody. I think you've just to be sure. Phil. Yeah, all of you roll your intelligence, alertness, difficulty of 6.
You can tell she may be a woman. Phil cannot tell that she may be a woman.
2 successes. All right.
You said 7?
6. No, you don't need to, Enoch. No, Woo does.
Oh, okay.
No, you know exactly who that person is. All right, 1 success. All right, so 0 successes, Phil. You just kind of get distracted by kind of rolling like exactly what you did. Like, what the heck does? I don't want anything. I don't want any trouble. You're just just seeing Sacred Ghost show up here. You know, a Wendigo Thurge of substantial rank coming into a white town. Woo, you make out that with 1 success, you see the person behind him is a mixed race, and you're like, what? And you're kind of fixated on that. 2 successes, Bob. You know right away that's one of. You know right away. You recognize who it is right away. That's one of Enoch's sons. You can't place the name, but you remember Enoch had two sons that were that he had with his wife, who was Sue.
All right.
He asks, you see that Sacred Ghost makes an eye to, and kind of motions for, he wants to talk to Enoch.
I was already headed that way, so I step over.
Okay.
All right.
As you walk over, you see a beer glass out of nowhere smash against the doorway, barely missing your son and Sacred Ghost.
What's do I know who just threw it?
No.
Might have been Wu.
I immediately just like turn and look for the first guy that looks like it's like coming from him, and I'm throwing on the stare down.
Okay. Things kind of get quiet.
Like bad enough to let Celestials in this bar.
You know what? Congratulations. Someone was an asshole. Everybody out. You'll clear the room.
Dude,
Just out.
There's like 3 bars in town, man, and you're just gonna. It's not like they have any other option.
Yeah, out.
All right, go ahead. Roll your charisma and intimidation, Phil. All right.
Look at those 3s.
Wow.
Yeah, people are like, all right, you see, people are kind of mosey on. The other people are kind of like, some people are bitching. It's like, well, I'll go to another fucking bar then, and then someone just kind of muffles it. Bob, what are you doing?
Nothing unless asked.
Okay.
I sit there and I sip my bourbon.
All right.
And if I catch Phil's eyes, I heard it all. And
All right.
Do we got something against him other than being a red man?
The native, no. Before you were here, we almost got into a bunch of shit with them, but as of right now, we're copacetic, I guess is the word.
Why'd you kick everybody out then?
I'm not having people throw shit here.
Throw?
The glass.
Okay. I take another little sip and watch it.
And plus, now we can all speak in peace.
All right.
I catch Phil's eye and thank him across the room.
Sacred Ghost says, talks to you and Sue, and he says, "There's something. We need to talk privately."
I gesture for him to come to the back room.
Okay, and your son follows in suit.
Oh no, guys, take a room. It's cool.
I give my son a nod, like a respectful nod.
Okay.
Like a
Okay. And you have that conversation of that message I sent you earlier. You have that conversation.
When did you send this message?
It's the one that let me reopen the. Let me reopen it. I think because it got hung up to when I sent out the link.
Oh yeah. I don't have any.
There.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that conversation, it's probably about 5 minutes. What Wu and Bob and Phil, do you guys kind of sit in the bar in awkward silence, or are you just doing something else? Or
What do you think that's about?
That's like when in game we're getting me caught up on everything with Actual Joe. Because I remember Actual Joe was Wu's buddy.
Yeah.
So what? He's a what now? With the what?
Yeah.
He's a mummy. He's bringing the storm here.
Where is he now?
I know. Right now, I mean, I'm assuming they're talking about something bad if they weren't sharing with everybody.
And remember, Brian. So, Bob, you'll probably share with Wu that newspaper clipping.
What's that?
That newspaper clipping that Ragabash slipped in your pocket.
Nope. Yeah, I do. Maybe it's about Enoch's son.
What?
That fella that was with the Wendigo.
Oh yeah, I kind of like to consider us all family. So.
Well, now you recognize him. Now that you mentioned it, because you're not fixated on the broken glass anymore.
Oh, that was Enoch's kid.
Yeah.
It makes sense because he looks a little bit more traditional before. Now that you see it, he dressed up as Enoch, him and his other brother, when they were delivering moonshine to your bar. But now he looks a little bit more quote unquote native now. So Enoch, you come out of the bar, and you come out of the back room, and Sacred Ghost and your son, which one is he? What's his name? Choxa. They make their way out of the bar.
It's actually technically it's Choxa Enoch Johnson. So,
Okay.
He's named for me.
Yeah. Your son kind of gives you a sign of either a hug or a handshake, whatever would be comfortable in your culture of you personally.
I mean, I would probably be fine with whatever makes sense, but for him, whatever I want to be respectful of where he's going now.
Okay. And then they leave the bar. Okay.
It must not have been that bad.
He says, Enoch says, Chaska has chosen to join to spend time with Sacred Ghost after he's spent probably far too much time with the white man.
Some sort of passive bathos comment about who's going to do the moonshining. So fast forward a couple days now, where Nana Boshar comes back into town, accompanied by 4 other Thurges. So now,
Wait, is Nana Boshart a Thurge? I'm going through my notes and I can't find her in my notes.
yeah,
That's crazy.
she's actually the right master of Harrowgate. Right there. I need to clean up some of these pages. And there's the crew. So I put down their title, who they are. So none of them, none of these are the right masters that were from Paradise Valley. These are just Thurge of high renown from each of the cairns that they sent.
Whoa, that dude in the top right is fucking scary. This guy?
Oh, yeah, span. Yeah. If you move out a bit, just hold Alt or whatever and span out. You see that they're in a row on the top right. So the top right, that's just a placeholder to remind people that Sacred Ghost was there. That's all. And below Nana Boshar, that is just for you guys to have a reference of a face. That was that's Choska.
Chaska.
Yeah.
Okay. So Nana Beauchard is the old lady with the pipe.
Yeah.
Just a warning, guys. Sylvia is a real ball breaker. Watch out.
What tribe is Nana?
Fianna.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You know Sylvia, obviously.
Really? I was just making that up. But
No, she's from Paradise. She's from Paradise Valley.
all right.
Yeah.
We'll make up random details as I go, and she could confirm or deny.
Yeah. And Ezekiel Graft, you know him, Sag. He's from Wilkins Farm. He's the Iron Rider. He was pretty close to Judge Cooper. He's not the right master from there, but he was. When you see him show up, you guys kind of exchange your pleasantries and stuff, and it's like seeing an old classmate basically.
What rank is he?
He is now he's your rank 3. So
okay.
Keep in mind, rank 3 is still pretty powerful, but now that everybody is a minimum of rank 3 in the game now, it doesn't seem that. But yeah, rank 3 is still pretty.
I just did say, good to see you. I'm not dead yet. Smile.
He shakes your hand. You see that he has a. You notice that he has a steampunking hand now. He looks at your fingers and he goes, "We can make you something if you like."
Really?
Yeah. That's the cool thing about Iron Riders, even Glasswalkers, like modern day Glasswalkers. They are more than happy to accommodate any battle scars and put on some cybernetics. But here it'd be like more steampunk stuff.
But we don't lose renown for it, do we? Because
not amongst fellow Iron Riders, and that's really what matters.
With me, you may.
I asked him, will it hold up? Will it hold up in a fight?
Depends on who you fight, I guess.
Sure. I'd be willing to take a look at something at some point.
Okay. And that's the cool, like the cybernetics, that's kind of a third thing to do because they become fetishes. So, like when he turns lupus, it's his arm turns into a paw, basically. So.
Yeah, I tell him I'd like him to take a look at this Gatling gun we've been building. I've been working with my father.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You see that Nana Beauchard exchanges some pleasantries with Munia Call. So everybody here, Munina and Germond talk to you in Geru because he's German and she's Greek, so they don't actually speak any English. They here in inside we're back in Phil's bar. They basically I'll let you guys kind of fill them in on what the status is. As you guys are talking, Viola and Isla, who was the other one's name?
I may have wrote it down.
I got it someplace too. Viola and
Lena.
Viola and Lena come down as well, and they feel a little bit out of place because there's some Ezekiel is completely fine with them because Iron Riders are fine with Weaver. You see that Munina and Germond are probably the most of taken aback and a bit growly. Sylvia is completely fine. She doesn't care that there's 2 Anasazi in the room. She actually kind of smirks with their presence. I'll let
Who are the 2 Anasazi?
Viola and Lena. Let me see if I can bring their pictures over as well.
Trying to update my notes.
Okay, there it is.
I have to write all this shit down, or I'll never keep track.
It's a lot of names.
Yeah. That's why I think we just need to go through like 1 or 2 sessions where we just start killing off everybody. Easier to remember.
I used to do that in my game.
Yeah, we've had some mass die-offs.
I can't remember all these damn people. I'm just going to kill them.
I've done that in a game or 2.
This guy died.
What I would do is just let Brian and play alongside. Back in the day when he was playing Jeremiah, I'd just let him play alongside the other PCs, and someone always ended up dying. So,
was he playing a bullfrog?
A Euthanatos, actually. So,
but close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah, Brian, I don't know what it is, but I got really feisty after axe throwing, so I might be more talkative tonight.
Did you throw again today?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm loving this shit, man.
Wait, did you go back with that chick?
No, not with that chick, no.
Ah, boo.
So, does anybody want to have kind of like an abridged discussion on what the plan is, or do you want Nana to do it?
Make Nana do it.
I kind of enjoy the old crazy Fiona telling everybody the plan.
So
I will be a gracious host though and get drinks for anyone.
Okay.
Except Lamina and Gurman, because they're being kind of dickish right now. They could wait.
I make sure, Barney, that I bring Lamina her drink because I'm have to show special love to the Black Furies this month.
That's true. That's right.
And I mentioned this courtesy of Owl.
She nods and she says thank you in Garu tongue, and she asks you. She pulls you aside and she asks you, explain to me why there's spiders here.
The Weaver needs to sew back the gauntlet. They say that it's going to be pierced. They're here to reset the balance.
Do you trust them?
I'm an Iron Rider.
Fair enough.
Ultimately trust is earned, but they serve a purpose, and I feel that that's trust enough.
She takes the drink and thanks you. Nana Boshar begins to explain, kind of recapping the impending maelstrom that's coming, and how the theory is when they met with the other Black Furies that are connected to Madame Givens, they fill in some gaps, and also they fill in some gaps that you've learned through the Shadowlands. That it's a Malfian that has allied itself with. It's a Malfian that's allied itself with the Storm Eater, and ultimately they're trying to discover Harrowgate. And she then begins to explain that the plan is that, and then she begins to explain that it is being targeted. It's targeting a specific mummy, and in order to do something about this, the idea is that then she goes into more detail on the Anasazi that have been killed.
Can I stop you a second, Barney?
Sure.
Just for clarity's sake, what's a Malfian and what's a Storm Eater?
The Storm Eater, you as Wu knows this. The Storm Eater is actually the meta plot of Werewolf Wild West. It is a gigantic Bane spirit that has been corrupted by the Weaver. It was initially it was initially chained by different tribes of the Uktena, the Wendigo, and the Croatan, that tribe that got decimated when the Indians landed. And once the Croatan were decimated, the Storm Eater was released. And it's in the far deep Umbra. And with the Iron Riders and technology coming, it's kind of tainted it. It's the one that's been sending out these umbral storms. Once in an episode, we might throw out there's an umbral storm, like the one that you guys were stranded in the barn with.
Right. Okay.
That was the Storm Eater is slowly approaching, and it's going to wipe out and destroy basically the entire world. So the meta plot of Werewolf Wild West is trying to unite all 13 tribes to tie down the Storm Eater again.
Okay.
And Amalfian is basically an extremely powerful. Think Amalfian is basically, in vampire terms, is like third generation race. They live deep inside the Umbra. They are like giant in size, and basically believe that they're the ones that kind of manipulate all the specters. They're the ones that orchestrate the harrowings that wraiths go through when they lose all their corpus.
Okay.
Yeah. So the idea that there is a Malfian that is now allied through the Umbra to the Storm Eater is disheartening, to say the very least. Yeah. So the Malfian, and so the Malfians know that because they are denizens, ancient denizens of the Shadowlands and everything to do with the Dark Umbra, know very well the mummies, because mummies live partly in the Shadowlands. Somehow knows who actual Joe is, and is aiming a maelstrom at him, in hopes of ripping apart Harrowgate, the cairn. So Nana Boshar explains all this, and coming to the conclusion that you all came to last episode, that we need to bring actual Joe to the Harrowgate, the actual Harrowgate, to suck up the maelstrom to cause to cause less damage. When she explains this, you see a lot of the Thurges look like, well, this is a Hail Mary. I'm not sure how this is going to happen. And then she explains, in order for us to do this, we need to make sure what's on the other side is something that we can actually send to Harrowgate. We can send the maelstrom through, which means we need to go to inside the Harrowgate a little bit to see what's on the other side.
Isn't it the atrocity room?
We believe it is, but we don't know. Legend has it there's these gates, there's these established gates all around the world that connect to the 13 near realms, the near umbral realms, and rumor has it that the one here is to the atrocity realm.
Bob would be happy to go. I clap Bob on the back.
Sure. Point me at the Malfian.
I am not a Thurge, but I'm assuming anything involving the atrocity realm is probably a bad idea.
Atrocious, even.
Nana says, I want to be sure that if we open this thing up, if we open up the well full bore, that we're not going to get flooded out. So I want us to go in a little bit to see if there's a way that we can ensure that the road goes one way and not the other.
I like Phil's look. Phil's first one through.
She says, And she looks straight at the other third. Just, this is why you're here. You're here to help us out. And I'm going in, and Nana Beauchard taps the tobacco out of her pipe and loads up some more. And she says, and I want to be clear as a bell on church Sunday. I'm going in first. I wouldn't ask anyone else to go in first.
Mighty ballsy of you.
She says, I'm the highest rank here right now. And she kind of nods to Enoch almost. And she says, in order for us to make sure this plan works, we need to make sure we have all the information. And this is the one thing we're not sure of yet. We've tossed around, we've dallied around some ideas on how we're going to get actual Joe down here. I don't see that as much as a problem as like if we actually come here and that maelstrom is bearing down on us and we open up that Harrowgate and it goes the opposite direction, we're going to destroy the entire world. But if we can open that up and we can make sure that we know for sure that we can actually make it suck in, make sure that breeze sucks in that maelstrom and it goes straight through, then we know. But if we open that up and notice that it's going downwind, we can't commit to this plan until we know for sure. Give me a better idea, but I think the idea we have of doing this is good, but we just got to make sure it actually works first. I'm not suggesting we open up all the way. I'm suggesting we open up a little bit and a few of us go in to scope it out, to scout it out, and we come back out.
Sounds like a plan to me. Who's
It's
clicking?
the atrocity realm. What's the worst that could happen?
She goes, it could be the summer realm. Who knows? But summer country. Who knows? And all I know is that Mike keeps clicking on something.
I know. Right. I'm clicking.
Mike's scrolling through porn.
I'm trying to look up stuff in the werewolf book. Is my mouse clicking really that loud? Me tapping one mouse, like,
Yes.
did you hear that just now?
Really loud. Yeah.
Maybe it's your mic is so sensitive.
I'll look into ways to turn down the mic. I don't know.
Your mic right now is like
Super loud.
a 5-year-old child. It's extremely sensitive.
Yeah. Is there a gain control on your mic?
No, this is a shitty USB mic.
No, it's not. It wasn't super bad, but anyway, it was just funny because it was kind of like a quiet in the conversation. Everybody's thinking, you hear this chicken. So, anyone have a better idea? Nana says, I am more than welcome to hear anything from any Ragabashes, Galliards, or Aeroons.
I pipe up and I say the Bone Gnar thinks this is a perfectly fine idea.
Do we have any backup plan for this?
She says, I think at this point, we need to, I would put, she looks at Germond. She says, what I would like to do is I would have Germond and Bob guarding the door in case a few of us go in and something goes by. I would prefer to have our two strongest people there to make sure nothing gets out. And if we're stuck on the other side, we're stuck on the other side. But we cannot have anything coming out.
All right, guys. Can you hear the clicking now?
It's better.
All right. I even have it on mute every other sound. And
Okay.
Well, I'll see what I can do.
It only works because you're scrolling through. I think when you're done looking what you're looking, it's not a big deal. She looks at Nana smirks and looks at Wu. She goes, "You seem to be the SEP leader's voice in all this. What do you think?"
I think I have some contention that you're saying that these two are the strongest in the group.
Try not to think too hard, Wu. You don't want me going into the atrocity realm. I'll guard the door.
She says, "I'd put it this way," and she goes, and I mean little disrespect to our friends here. You get more wits about you than these two.
Thank you. Or are you talking about Wu?
She goes, "I'll just leave it at that."
I got a 4 in wits.
She doesn't know anything about character sheets.
I know, I've only got a 2. You're way outwit me.
Yeah, you're smart. I think you're intelligent too, if I remember, Bob. You got some intelligence too.
I got enough.
Yeah.
3.
That's enough. That's above average.
That's book learning.
That's book learning. Yeah.
You're wittier than me. You're smarter than me.
But you're more charismatic.
That you are.
I've got the 3 in charisma.
I've got a 1.
Anything to add? And Phil, do you have anything to add to the plan?
Now we can't hear Phil.
Phil, you're on mute.
I think he's thinking. Phil? Hello, computer.
He's holding up his finger like, wait a minute.
Goddamn PCs.
Is he saying something?
His lips are moving.
Oh. Do you hear us, Phil?
That's what she said.
Tried to fix my can here 1 sec.
Okay.
Now's when we talk shit about him. He can't talk back, so.
Well, the good news is we can't hear the mouse clicking.
I will say I couldn't hear the mouse clicking at all.
Really? I heard it super loud.
Yeah, it was like I actually private messaged Mike saying, "Hey, dude, what's up with your mouse?"
Trying again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you fine. Good job, man.
All right. All right, to confirm, did they plan on me going in the atrocity realm?
They said you're going in first.
Wow. You're if this is D&D, you're like the party rogue. You're the party
so that's a yes.
I know Enoch and I were like drafting up your last will and testament. We're gonna get the hotel once you're dead.
Gotta go somewhere, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, if this is a plan, I'll just say, yeah. It sounds like we're going into a realm we know nothing about, not even worth sweeting. So what's the worst that can happen? Let's do it.
Viola mockingly walks up to you and plays with the hair, and she says, "You're so brave."
Uh-oh.
Oh.
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 It'll be fun. It'll be fun while it lasts, but don't be surprised if you wake up with your head down her throat.
Well, Gerhard and Mamina didn't like the spider people, right?
Yeah.
Look at a nice smile to him when she's playing with my hair. I'm like, yeah, well, what's the worst that can happen if we go in there, right?
Is she really showing emotion?
You can tell it's dry almost to the point where like she's learning sarcasm, Like hanging around with Phil so long.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I can't let Viola upstage me, so of course I'd love to go to whatever realm we discover behind this gate.
All right. So the rest of the the rest of you kind of sit down and kind of make, Nana Boshar grabs kind of explains what to expect once they, you get to the other side. She goes, "This is all hearsay, of course." She said, "I've never been there. No idea what." She then explains what to expect based off of what I sent you to, just that write up.
Isn't there some Thurgy thing where we could just take a look at where we're going first?
Not in any of those. Like a sneak peek.
Can we check out the travel brochures?
Is there you can kind of just preview the first 3 pages or something like that before you buy it?
Yeah. So no on that one. Okay.
Do you have any mages with time that can look and see what's about to happen?
So any questions your characters might have, or this or that, or
if we're at a good point, I'd like to take a quick bathroom break.
You as your character, or you as
you as character.
Me as Brian,
go ahead.
Will's trained. Will's trained. He can hold that shit for days.
I'm kind of picturing Steve Martin in Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Can I go to the bathroom?
All right. Yep. Go ahead if you want to go take a pee. Oh, I guess I already took a pee break. He's like, "Fuck you guys, I'm out of here." All right. So fast forward the trip down to the Harrowgate. So the plan is Enoch, Phil, Wu, Nana Boshar, and Ezekiel, Ciliana. Am I pronouncing her name right? I love 20 years ago we could never just search, just type in Victorian Polish names, and then
Sylvia is Sylvia, like almost like Sylvia, but it's
with a W.
Yeah. But I think it probably has a little bit of a V lint to it.
Yeah. Sylvia. Yeah, it's probably. She offers also to stay behind.
Why is that not surprising?
Yeah.
Is it sunny out, Barney?
On your way there, it's overcast, but you want to bring your parasol anyway.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, just in case. The journey down through. Does anybody want to? Who was? Were you guys there for the first game when you guys went down and actually discovered the Harrowgate? All 4 of you were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to describe the journey down? I'm just kind of curious to see how everyone else describes the journey down through the depths.
Through the cave.
Yeah. How did you envision it? Now there's less spider webs. It's kind of more trodden a bit now. You guys notice as you get down further, as you go into as you head in deep into through the mine part of it, that's the actual mine part. You notice that you kind of took the long way last time. Nana Boshar uncovers for you through some of the sides of the sides of the mine, you notice like an actual elaborate something from like The Hobbit, or like an elaborate stairwell, basically. Like that stone stairwell that was in was it the Two Towers? The sequel that they're in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something that's almost like there's like a direct route to the actual underground Harrowgate.
Going through the busted open wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can hear you. I'm back.
Okay. He's back.
I'm just shitting.
Shady's back.
And you guys still see some vestiges of pieces of Gabby, not her body, but like the webs. The webs are there. Viola and Lena are going there, are accompanying you all as well, mostly out of seeing what their role is going to be in the coming. They're kind of like, measuring out the Harrowgate and kind of getting an idea of what it's going to entail, and seeing if they're going to actually be able to do the plan like they hope to.
I thought you were saying they were mostly coming out of affection, but Harrowgate works. Yeah, I'm going to tell Bob, watch out for Sylvia.
Sylvia.
That's the Thurge from the Shadow Lord Thurge.
She eyeing me up?
She might be.
Mm.
She's going to think.
Back when,
Forbidden fruit, my friend.
back when she was younger, let me tell you.
Do you say that out loud to kind of poke fun at her?
A little.
As a ragabash?
A little.
I do say out loud that I'm forbidden fruit too. So.
Like when you whisper, but you whisper really loud.
Yeah. Bob
Yeah,
is not.
Yeah, like if your grandmother was whispering to you.
Sure, I think her tits look great.
Grandma. She says something under her breath and mentions and insinuates a past transgression that you prefer to keep quiet, Phil.
All right. We'll stop.
She says it in Polish, and you know enough of Polish, and you know enough about few choice words to know that
I should probably stop.
And she did it as like a mocking tone to go from like you were kind of like going at a 2 or a 3, and she just immediately like turned it up to a 9 just to see if she could actually get you to talk more, and hope that she didn't. You guys get there to the Harrowgate, and you see as you guys get to the Harrowgate, you see that Nana Beauchamp rolls out a few leather satchels, rolled up things with looks like some pretty old worn parchment on there. Who has linguistics?
I think I do.
I have Sue.
Everybody roll your perception linguistics, difficulty of we'll say an 8.
I am lacking linguistics. Should I even bother?
You might get something with your perception, though.
I'm gonna spend a willpower, Barney, because I want this one.
All right. I feel it.
What was the difficulty, Barney? I'm sorry.
8.
8.
Damn.
So that's 2 successes. All right. Woo. Okay.
Paperwork, man.
Paperwork. Yeah. Enoch. You see her roll. You roll it out and everything like that, but you get really distracted by. You're just kind of staring at the actual gate, and it's almost like you notice it kind of like pulsing in and out, almost like the gate itself is alive, and it kind of like you're kind of just entranced by just staring at the giant gate. Phil and Woo, you're just looking at the catacombs. You're just kind of staring at the stalactites and just chill in the air down here in the cavern. You feel that there is definitely spirits around. 2 successes, Bob. You immediately make out as she rolls it out, based off of the age and based off of the history of the cairn, Harrowgate. Remember, do you guys remember Surkov, the Right Master that was of Harrowgate, the Russian?
Yes.
Guy got a nice haircut.
Yeah. So you recognize, with 2 successes, you recognize that the writing, and so remember, he was there looking for. You guys remember that story seed that he created, where he was out looking for. If you recall, the silver fangs that used to be in Harrowgate disappeared during a strong maelstrom that came through ages ago. That actually. That actually killed Adam that first time, and so then he died, and he was in his tomb underneath the actual town of Harrowgate. And when he woke up and he was alone in the ghost town of Harrowgate, the cairn, with Hardstone, the red talon metis Aaron that was kind of patrolling outside that gray dome that actually where when you guys role played out playing the original Cairn characters, like Dale, you played Nana Boshar, Aaron played Surkov, and Phil, who did you play? Do you remember? Mike, were you on that game? Can't remember offhand. Anyway, long story short, Bob, you recognize the handwriting as that's old enough. Probably it was from one of the Right Masters of Harrowgate, who was a Silver Fang. It's written in Russian.
Huh.
So you're able to put those pieces together to know that that's actually, with 2 successes, you recognize it is written in Russian. It's a right written in Russian. Definitely, probably you're able to tell by the age of it. It's probably from one of the Silver Fangs that were there before the present group of Gare that live in Harrowgate now.
I'll just I'll ask then. I go, is that written down by those Russian Silver Fangs?
Nana Boshart turns back and actually looks sort of surprised that you knew that, and she was like, "Actually, yes."
I don't speak Russian, but I do look into a place before I, come out here.
It was his name was Ilion Adam Androvich. He said he was quite a Right Master, a Thurge of note. She goes, "You speak Russian?"
Do I speak Russian?
Yeah. Do you read? Okay.
No, but all those consonants. That's a quick guess.
She, Nana Boshar eyeballs you, Enoch, and kind of like her eyes kind of got wide, and she kind of like, look at the big brain on Brad.
I say something to I kind of mumble as I'm continuing to stare at the gate. I just kind of mumble. I think he's got a future to him.
She opens it up and she sits down in front of the, and she sits, and she kind of pulls forward Ezekiel to help her, and you recognize Dale. You recognize you don't know this right, but you recognize it's kind of like a stronger version of opening up a moon bridge, right?
Oh, okay.
It gets a little bit complicated. You see them kind of stumble along with it, and then she's kind of getting you to help a bit. If you want to roll your gnosis or to kind of, she's kind of pulling on the other Thurges as well, kind of help her.
My gnosis of 9. No. Difficulty.
Difficulty of with everybody helping, difficulty of a 7. And Woo, if you want to help too, Galliards are always good at rights.
Yeah, I've got a little bit of rights. So should I roll gnosis?
Yeah, roll your gnosis.
Current
10,
or...
I'll put it though. Roll your gnosis 10 minus your level you have in rights. Dots you have in rights.
Okay.
I go to Krinos.
I've got rituals.
Yeah.
Well, I've got rights
Rituals.
background and rituals knowledges.
Rituals knowledges.
Okay.
I'll be popping to Glabro.
Okay.
It's a difficulty of a 7. So roll my gnosis at a difficulty of a 7.
Correct. Wow, I have 3 in rituals. Good jobs.
Yeah, it's like one of those things that I have skill in, but it just never came in use in game. I don't actually know that many rituals, though. I'm just gonna.
Right.
Dose.
Okay. You. Okay. With all you guys doing that, you're able to do enough where the gate actually. It's like I put it in it's the equivalent of putting a key in a padlock that you haven't used in like years, and you have to struggle. Basically, that's what it is to the gnosis. Is that this is a doorway that hasn't been opened in a freaking long time, and the key's rusty, and that key being this right. This right hasn't been used. It's like it's something that a right master will end up learning because it's like a right to learn, but never use. So you see that she keeps referring back to the scroll and the parchment and making sure she's doing it right. After a few tries, you see the gate actually pulses and opens up with like a loud bang. Not the sound bang, but the feeling of a bang where you guys get hit with like a rush of air. And you see that you get hit with a rush of air, and all of a sudden the gate in between kind of pulsates, and you see on the other side, and then it kind of like wavers and it kind of slows down a bit, and you see an airy calm from the other side, and you see that it looks very gray on the other side, and you see that it looks like it's a mirror on the other side. Basically, it's a mirror image of you all.
But grayed out.
Grayed out. You don't see you there, but you see on the other side of it, you see the stairway. The stairway that you guys came down on, you see that stairway on the other side, like a mirror image of it.
I looked at Anna.
She takes a deep breath and she says, I was expecting a moon bridge, but she looks over at Garmond and Bob. Will you guys be okay?
I just nod.
Hey, Barney, is it all open right now? Like someone could step in?
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'll go with Nana.
I keep forgetting I have the curiosity flaw, so I want to be the first one to go in.
Oh, all right. Way to play with the flaw. All right. All right. All right. Do you walk right? You see Phil walk right in, and he kind of grays out. It's like a black and white photograph. But as you walk in, Phil, and you see everybody else on the other side, and they seem to be kind of muted colors on the other side. And you hear the sounds that you're hearing there. You hear wind and some moans in the distance and thunder. But it's a completely dead it's exactly the mirror image that you walk through, like of the cavern. It's just instead of the walkway curving up to your right, it curves up to your left up here. Same as it, you go. Nana Boshar comes through. So does Wu. And
I'm in Krenos.
Okay.
Yeah, when I walk through, I'm going to Krenos as well.
Okay.
And I'm going in right beside Nana, like I'm escorting her in.
Okay. She turns glabro, and when she walks in, she sees that her pipe, the ashes in her pipe immediately get extinguished. Like it just puffs out like fire just died. And she like tamps out the ash and she looks at it and she just mutters to herself and then puts the pipe in her, slides it in her inside pocket. She says, she looks over at any of you and she says, any of you have some sort of gift that allows us to trace our steps or leave marks behind or anything like that?
I motioned to Grandpa's goggles. This should lead us back out.
All right. She sighs and starts walking up the stairs.
I'll follow her. Well, this is pretty neat.
You all get this like eerie presence. As soon as they walk through, you're looking at Bob. You're standing there with Sylvia and Germond, and I don't know if I'm saying his name right. And he and you see them kind of disappear off up the stairs. And Germond walks up closer to the gate and kind of makes makes a silent gesture, kind of an eye to Sylvia, and Sylvia shakes her head. And then he kind of like turns around and walks back away from the entrance of the gate and stands next to you again, Bob.
Is she standing close to the gate or?
No. Basically, he walks up to the gate and then turns back and looks at Sylvia. You and Sylvia are standing next to each other, and then she shakes her head. And he turns around and walks and stands and gets back to the two of you.
I just stand fixated on the gate.
All right. You guys walk up the stairs. As you guys walk up the stairs, you come out of the mouth of the mine. You guys walk through. You don't see the mine as in it was a mine. You don't see like the actual beams and stuff ahead. You see it as a natural cave. And you get out into gray sky. It's a mirror image of the mouth of the Killian brothers' mine, and it kind of arches out down into the valley where you see the trail. But the trail looks old. It looks rougher. It looks less traveled as the one is that you saw before. and you see like shadows dancing through the clouds a bit almost, or it could just be strong winds. Your eyes kind of start playing tricks on you on seeing things. You see like bits of ash floating in the sky, like there's like a non-existent fire burning off in the distance, and you see Nana Boshar kind of take a deep breath and kind of like make eye contact with each one of you to see what your all reactions are.
So we're all agreed this isn't the Summerlands?
She goes, it definitely ain't the Summerlands.
I'm just looking around wide-eyed for now. This is pretty fascinating.
Enoch would actually probably be fairly businesslike, kind of just very focused on the surroundings, and his survival instincts would be kicking in.
Oh, can we have had some of Enoch's moonshine before we do this?
Yeah, I was actually just going to pass the jar around.
She takes a swig. She wipes her mouth. Mumina takes a swig as well. Ezekiel passes.
I make sure to bring the jar back around to him after everybody's had a drink.
Okay.
I wipe the brim where people have probably been touching with their mouths.
He says, I really would like to, but I got a prior engagement in a way with something else, so.
Boss.
And
wait, who's not drinking?
Ezekiel, the Iron Rider Thurge.
Okay.
He all right, go ahead and roll, Sag. You see, let's see here. Nana says, so this looks like this is the mirror image of our place. So which direction do you want to go? Do you want to go towards Harrowgate or do you want to go towards Gold Springs?
I'm kind of interested in wondering where you want to go, given that you were the one that felt like we needed to come here and vet the place before sending Faceless Joe in.
She goes, she points off in the distance. She goes, it seems like there's a bit more of a ruckus towards where Harrowgate would be.
Well, let's see it then.
I imagine that means that's where we have to go.
Bob, you don't. I'll put it this way: you sense just as much on them as you do on yourself.
All right.
Meaning, they probably have just as many skeletons in their closet as you do.
All right.
So they're necromancers.
You guys head off in the direction, and it's almost as if it takes you less time, and it takes you less time than you would if you actually in the physical world traveled to Harrowgate. As you approach,
I probably make a joke along the lines of we're gonna have to remember this place this way as a shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
You guys approach the as you guys are getting there, and it looks, you see as you're getting closer to it, you don't even have to roll for it. You guys sense there's a lot of worm coming from that area, from the area you're heading towards, from the area where Harrowgate is, the town of Harrowgate.
Everybody else smells shit, right?
Yeah, a little more than usual.
As you guys approach Harrowgate, you see the town. It's exactly how it looked before, but it looks actually it looks, believe it or not, even though everything's kind of gray, it looks newer than you know Harrowgate as. And directly behind the town line, where the town is, you see, the best way to describe it is like, do you ever see those things from our textbooks and stuff like that where they talked about, like, you know, like when like the ice age happened and you had like a mile high glacier?
Yeah.
Like the edge, you basically see like a mile high invisible wall, almost like
It's invisible. How do we see it?
if you expect the unexpected, then are you expecting the unexpected?
Shit.
Is the unexpected then expected? You see an invisible wall. It looks like it's a maelstrom, actually like held behind an invisible wall. You see behind it, you see bane spirits and wind and gusts and all these things. Use your darkest imagination and your most, insane imagination, and you see that spirit of some sort of Cthulhian nature whipping around behind it, almost and behind this invisible wall. And it goes as far as you can. You look up and it's like a mile high. It's basically a maelstrom is stopped. It's either stopped midstream and hit a glass wall, and it's a storm that's happening on the other side of that, this other side of it, and it looks like it's violently loud, but you don't hear it. You only hear the wind and the whistle that's blowing there. And you guys make out on the other, like, you see on the other side, on the bottom of it, like in the middle of Harrowgate, in the middle of the town, you notice there's 7 Geru in the middle of town in Krenos form. Looks like they're doing some sort of rite or something, holding that storm in its place.
Hey, you guys.
and it stretches on. It stretches on for not only is it as high as you can see, but as east and west as you can see. You don't see an end to this storm. It's like an invisible wall is holding back this giant maelstrom, this giant umbral storm that, or it's the atrocity realm on the other side. The best way you can describe it from what your knowledge of, it looks like one of those umbral storms that you guys have lived through a few times, but a giant version of that. And you guys know right away that just by these 7 Geru right away, you know right away who they are, and it's those 7 I just revealed. Scroll down below Ezekiel.
The Ruskies.
Never trust Ruskies.
I remember seeing this picture at the very beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Why did we see this picture at the very beginning of the season?
That's called foreshadowing. But no, that was like the history of Harrowgate, I believe.
Does anyone make that connection yet?
No, but I'm agreeing with Brian. I can't.
Like in the first episode of the season, we saw these guys.
That is the 7. Those are the Silverfangs that went missing.
I keep thinking they look like the mothers of invention.
Those are the. So if you recall, remember that you guys, when you played it, like Nana Boshar, Surkov, Francesca, and the guy that actually, and the guy that the very first episode, season 1, episode 1, Amos, Truth Speaker, the old SEP leader.
Yes.
They were sent there to look for them because remember Harrowgate was abandoned. They were Harrowgate used to be the Silverfang Cairn. Paradise Valley was the Shadow Lord Cairn. Moldovo Canyon was the Get Fenris Wilkins Farm. Before you all moved to Harrowgate, that was a Silverfang. That was a Silverfang Cairn that they took over from the Wendigo, and they mysteriously disappeared.
Well, we found them.
Nana Boshar looks at it, sees them, and she says, all right, now I got to look at the timeline real quick, making sure I get this right. Files. Harrowgate timeline. There it is. So they disappeared.
So is Surkov gone? I've got Surkov in my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he dead.
He's dead? Oh, okay.
Yeah, 1855, the Silfrangs built up the cairn in a frontier town called it Harrowgate, named after an old Wendigo story. Now you know what the old Wendigo story is. The entire population of Harrowgate mysteriously disappeared. That was 1860. And now you guys are in 1878, basically. So, yeah. So 18 years later, nobody knew what happened to them until you guys just stumbled upon them. Nana Boshar looks at it and she says,
Think they're going to be hungry?
No. Yeah, you see that they're actively in a stance of they've been holding back this storm. And that's the end of this episode.
Dum dum dum.
So we're gonna have to kill him, right? Well, it's like Highlander, right?
I was afraid we're going to have to take their place. That would really suck.
Yeah, we're not doing that. No, I think it's like Highlander, where we cut their heads off and we gain their power. Because what is life but a Highlander analogy?
Everybody give yourself 3 experience.
All right, I will be tinkering with my mic this week to see if I could get it to work a little bit better.
No, you know what? You sound fine. I think it was just you've never clicked that much in a single time at one point.
Yeah, you were just clicking like a
because you were clicking down. You're looking.
Yeah, I was trying to look up all these different gifts and such just so I could remind myself what I can do.
Right, that's the only thing. Your mic's fine. I think that you didn't really click. You never really clicked that quickly in such a short period of time.
That's why I call them the magic fingers.
All right. Any renown-ish things?
I guarded the Harrowgate.
You did. All right, one glory.
We went through a Harrowgate.
Yeah.
That's some glory right there.
You guys actually found a missing Silverfang pack. So you guys give yourself
a little honorable.
Yeah, give yourself two temporary honor for that. You get that too, but because by default as well, Sag.
Boo.
Glory for going through a gate that could have potentially led to the atrocity realm.
Yeah, well, if you guys, it's up to you. If you take a glory, you have to take away a wisdom. So I'll let you decide that.
Okay, I'm stupid.
Because it wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I will allow anyone to give yourself one glory on that if you take away one wisdom.
I'm almost to 10 wisdom, so I'm not gonna take that.
I will take the glory and drop the wisdom.
Okay. So basically, what that means in Guru terms is that you will highlight that in your own record of renown, where Brian will not bring it up.
Right now, I'm starting to get more of a Marty McFly vibe for Phil occasionally. Just the don't call me chicken, then do something stupid. So once Viola shamed me, it's like calling me a scaredy cat. Like, gotta be the first one in.
Gotta be the first one in now, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, that was
fun.
See, and like I said, we're gonna. I was telling Dale earlier too that this is the next few. Like we only have 2 or 3 episodes left, and then we're done for the season. So yeah, so things are gonna go pretty quick. So
I noticed that the games that we're playing, the names have totally changed from what you originally had on the schedule.
Yeah, I know, because of the shit you guys did earlier. Made me had to
rethink the second half of your season.
No, that's why I usually left the last 2 episodes like to be announced. But yeah.
I always find that funny when someone says that. I mean, because I do it myself. Is like, does that mean they fucked up? The players fucked up, or does that mean they did something much cooler than was expected? Or
well, you know what? I was listening to these Fear the Boot's a great role playing game podcast, and they always say it's you're not in charge of their your player characters, they are. You just make the world, and they just do whatever the hell they want to do in the world you've created. So,
totally.
All right. But it reminded me. I was a quick story. They were talking about there was a Fate game they were playing. They were one of the guys. They were talking about they're playing a Fate game, and
who plays Fate?
And it was a post-apocalyptic world where. And this one guy just as a joke made put everything into photocopy repair. Just he was really good at repairing photocopy machines, because that's what his character was. And that's what his character was before the apocalypse. He was a photocopy repairman. And the whole concept of the chronicle was about how this mummy came back to life, and it was wreaking havoc in this post-apocalyptic world, and the only way to do something with it was that you had to destroy the parchment of the thing that summoned him in the first place, and the epic finale took place in this abandoned mall, and they had the parchment, but they wanted to actually make sure there was something along the lines where they actually they had to make a copy of it, and the guy was it was one of those things where all of a sudden the light shined down. He goes, "I can fix this photocopy machine." and then he ran up, and they're like, and while that was happening, like everybody, all the other heroes were like fighting the mummy as he was summoning all these like all these like skeletons from the ground and stuff, and like he's upstairs like getting the generator started, and all of a sudden like there's like epic battles happening, and then the scene switched to like the elevator music of like Girl of Ipanema is playing, and like he's like fixing the photocopy machine. And then he fixes it, and then he has to like photocopy the entire parchment, and wife, you're like, hurry up or die. He's like, he's like yeah, I thought it was a funny story, but yeah. But, all right, so anything else? That was what we got.
That was good. That was fun.
That was fun. That was a very good setup episode, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool, guys. I'll see y'all later.
All right, have fun.
All right, good night.
See you.